Good afternoon. Got heavy equipment beeping outside. It is a day. What day is it? Got a lot going on. It's Thursday. Almost the weekend. I'm gonna keep working. So, I'm gonna talk about British folklore today. Yeah, I got a lot going on. But British folklore, myths, legends, you got a lot there. You probably have the most. I don't know. Asia's got a lot. Hey, Genghis. Hey, Ben. I guess we have a lot in the U.S. too. I don't know. British folklore is pretty famous. Pretty famous. I was looking up information. It's endless. Y'all got a lot of crazy. Oh, some of it's maybe not crazy. Some of it's based in truth. Hiya, Choppy. Yeah, it's a nice day today. What do y'all had a good day yesterday? A lot of you weather wise, is it pretty nice this morning or this afternoon there? It's uh it's really kind of glorious weather right now for Texas. In the morning when you step outside, it's like crisp and cool. I love that. A lot of times you step outside in the mornings, you're like, ugh, it's hot and humid. That's that's what I'm about to face all summer long. But right now I got like 4 or 5 days. It's supposed to be good weather. I'm working outdoors, so I need it. Rains a lot this time of year in Texas. And then it is St. Patrick's Day weekend here. Yeah, the Indian burial sites in the U.S. There is a lot of folklore in the U.S. You know, I've been Genghis to the largest mounds, Indian mounds in the U.S. I've been there. Do you know where it is, Genghis? You ever heard of them? They're massive. And they're still not exactly sure what they were for. They were probably used for burial, but they're much bigger than there was some other significance. But yeah, there is some. There is some for sure. American folklore. Hey, Nikki Brooke, talking about British folklore and a little bit about weather. Out now, I didn't get any videos out. I worked yesterday. Well, the day before. The day before yesterday, I only got like 4 hours sleep. And then I got up and I worked yesterday until the sun went down, which is like 7:30. And then by the time I got home and showered and cooked, I didn't have time to edit videos. Navajo. No, the largest Indian mounds in the U.S. They're right along the Mississippi River, as you might imagine, where there's a large civilization. Basically, they can tell that a bunch of Native Americans all lived in this one place. It was like a big city, and there's a whole bunch of mounds. A couple of them that are massive. I mean, they're the biggest in the U.S. by far. They're right on the Mississippi River. They're in Illinois, and they're called the Cahokia Mounds. Cahokia starts with a C, and they just know there was like a big, they even think that it's just one D, geese. They even think that maybe different tribes of Native Americans all like gathered in this one. It was a really good spot for agriculture, and the Mississippi River was right there. And so they don't really know. But a bunch of Native Americans all live there, and they're the biggest mounds in the U.S. The Cahokia Mounds in Illinois. Anyway. And there's a lot of folklore too, like even in Texas, we have a lot of, Texas was, you probably, I don't know if you've heard of the amusement park, Six Flags. They're nationwide now, but that started here in Dallas. It's a big amusement park company. You know, the first one was in Dallas. Texas was ruled by 6 nations in total. And so we have folklore that go back to like Spanish settlers, Mexico, France owned Texas once, the Confederacy, the Republic of Texas, and the United States. All those different nation flags have flown over Texas. So we have like this kind of mix of folklore that come from different roots and origins. But British folklore is like, I don't know, it's off the charts. It's because your history is so long. You know what I mean? And you also have not always been under the same flag. You've had different rulers and different influences, and it goes back so long ago. You know, Celtic myths and folklore have, roots there. There's a lot of that. So yeah, you get a lot. You get a lot. And it's interesting to me. What are y'all's favorite, like, stories about myths or legends or creatures? I mean, your most famous ones are folklore-wise, are like King Arthur, Robin Hood, of course, the Loch Ness Monster. If we're saying folklore, myths, and legends, those are probably your big 3, right? Everybody knows about. Kelpies. That's pretty well known around the world. And then you have some more obscure ones. What about the Green Man? Y'all got any favorites along those lines? Of course, we've talked about some like cryptids before, like your Black Shuck, or your Beast of Bodmin Moor. Wasn't there a Beast of Exmoor? You got a lot. You got a lot. Some that are pretty well known, some that are more obscure. But yeah, a lot going on, so I'm sorry. There's no new videos coming out today. There will be tomorrow, I promise. But I just couldn't. Not to mention, cycling season's going. A lot of good races. Cycling's happening. The White Lady. It is a generic term, but you do have, and also the Gray Lady. But anyway, you do got a lot. But I'll get a video out. I'll get videos out tomorrow. I just couldn't last night. I was wore out. I was tore up from the floor up. Have you ever heard that? Tore up from the floor up? Blackjack who lived in your wardrobe, Choppy? The Apple Tree Man. I do have an article and a list, and I'm going to start going over them here in a minute. I'm not sure if the apple tree man is on that list, Kings, but it is a really long list. That's why I pulled it up. It's got so many that I was like, oh, I wanna read some of these off, and then you can click on them and it'll tell you about that one. So I thought that'd be a good article to use. You know, I'm working for a customer right now, and she used to live in England. She's an American. I told y'all that. I've known her for a while. I painted her baby. She's got a baby, a newborn. I painted her baby's bedroom a English tea rose color on the walls, and the ceiling is like kind of a forest green. This is her baby's room. This is her nursery, okay? This is the color she had me painted. It looks like an English tea room in there. The walls are rose, and the ceiling is a forest green. That's kind of unusual, isn't it? Uh, so anyway, she used to live in England. That's probably why she likes that color combination. And I forgot where she lived, to be honest. But I was talking to her yesterday, and I was like, "Where did you live in England?" And I thought it maybe was Cambridge, Genghis, but it's not. She went to Oxford. She went to school in Oxford. So, ooh, that's pretty impressive. She went to university in Oxford, and then she moved to Canterbury. So that's real interesting. Now she's married now, and they have a baby, and he's from the U.S. as well. So, but they do travel. They do travel to the UK. And I asked her, I was like, "Hey, you want to join the live stream with me?" And I can talk to you about the UK. Will o' the Wisp. That's a famous one, Genghis. But I asked her if she'd be in the live stream, and she immediately goes, "I don't want to be on camera." I get the vibe. I understand that. I told her, I was like, "Yeah, me neither. It's no fun." So she won't join the live stream. And then I did, she goes, "I don't want to look at my face." She goes, "And I also don't hear my voice." And I was like, "Yeah, I get the face part." I was like, "My voice doesn't bother me so much." And she goes, "Yeah, you should do ASMR." People comment that sometimes. And then this morning I woke up, hey Adrian, and someone commented on, I don't know, one of the recent videos. I woke up this morning and there was a comment on there that said, "You should do ASMR." It would be better for me because I also don't like being on camera. But yeah, I don't mind talking on camera, Ben. I don't like seeing myself on camera. And that's what she said, so she wouldn't be on camera. But guess what? the Her husband teaches English lit. He's a teacher in high school, so he teaches teenagers English lit. And I knew that. Now, we all take English lit as a required course in high school. I don't believe you take American lit as a required course. And that's because probably English lit is a required course for people around the world. It's, it's the best literature. Jack and Irons, Nikki Brooke. I saw that and I didn't click on it yet, but I saw Jack and Irons. It's an old local folklore ghost of a giant that haunts lonely roads rattling his chains. So, hey, morning, Davy Verse, where you at? Where you at, Davy Verse? Yeah, Nikki Brooke. I'm going to read about jacking irons. I saw that on this list. I'm going to click on it. See what it says. Again, you can't keep replacing cameras. If you're on Springfield Mo. All right. He's in central Missouri, y'all. And Springfield is lovely. It's real green, isn't it? And it's hilly. It's nice. Springfield's nice. Beautiful city. Yeah, he's right in the heart of Missouri, y'all. Ted Drews, you did? It was amazing, wasn't it? You can't call it ice cream. It's frozen custard. They'll get mad at you. But yeah, Ted Drews is the best place for frozen custard in the country. No doubt about it. That's their thing in St. Louis. It's like fish and chips is to you. Frozen custard is to St. Louis. And they take a lot of pride in it. Bogarts. For y'all who don't know, Davy is traveling Route 66 in the U.S. Constantine, you in Chicago? Chicago's one of my favorite cities. Bogarts of the Boogeyman lives near farms and sours and milk. I did see Bogarts on this list. I need to get to the list. Chicago, yeah, at the moment. Chi-Town, the Windy City. Chicago. Interesting note about Chicago. Its nickname is the Windy City, and a lot of people think because it's windy there, because it is. It sits right on the shore of Lake Michigan. The wind just blows in, and it is windy in Chicago. The nickname came from a newspaper article, though, where a local newspaper writer called the politicians of Chicago because they were known to be crooked, and they spouted a lot of hot air. They talked a lot. The politicians were just blowing wind, and that's where the nickname came from. There's a newspaper writer, and he was saying the politicians of Chicago are windy and they don't get anything done. They're all crooked and just saying things just to be talking. And so he called the city the Windy City. Is it windy there, Adrian? You keep a place, Constantine, Chicago? Beautiful. I love Chicago. One of my favorite places in the U.S. I prefer Chicago to New York as much as I like New York. Anyway, I was trying to say I'm working at this house and he teaches English Lit. We all study English Lit in the U.S. as a required course. And yeah, you're in a beautiful part of the country, Davey. You're going to get to an area, though, when you get to Texas where it's going to, oh no, you're going to have long stretches of a completely different environment to look at than what you're in now. Y'all got a lot of wind there too, huh, Gigas? So I was talking to them. He teaches English Lit, and she used to live in England, Canterbury, and Oxford. And so we started talking about authors on money, which is a conversation that we had in the live stream. Well, I mean, I brought it up, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool they put authors on money there. And he was like, yeah, that is really cool because he teaches English Lit. And so then I go, yeah, that like they were telling me, y'all were telling me, Illinois was a bit of dull driving too, and flat. Davy, you've got way worse than ahead of you. When you get to Texas and drive, it's gonna be just flat and sandy, dusty. And then you're gonna cross all the Southwest, it's gonna be that way. Hey Sean, good to see you. Sean Nicholson. So it's windy everywhere, huh? Sounds like all of y'all are like, oh, it's windy. Anyway, we were talking, and I go, yeah, I heard that Jane Austen is on the 10-pound note over there, right? That's what y'all told me. Jane Austen is on your 10-pound note, right? And uh, I was mentioning that to him, and he reached into his wallet and he goes, "Here." He goes, "Here." And he handed me this. Y'all recognize that? And I took it and I go, I took it and I looked at it and then I handed it back to him. He goes, "No, just keep it." So that's so funny, huh? Jane Austen. Not for long. They put in animals. That's what Ginga said, or Ben, or one of you said that yesterday. Well, I got one. He just gave it to me. It's like $15. Right, Adrian? Yeah, generous. I think he had more than one. They travel there. It was in his wallet. He just pulled it right out from his wallet. It was like $15 in U.S. money. 10-pound note. Yeah, the comparison, 279 there, 55 left the UK at 150 a liter. Okay. Well, Davey, the good news is, as you continue to drive, your gas prices will lower from where you're at now to where you're going. Your gas prices will lower when you start getting. I know the math. When you start getting to Texas, the price is going to drop. And even before you get to Texas, the price is going to begin to drop. Fill up in the middle part of your trip, because when you start getting a little closer to the West Coast, the price will go back up. But while you're in the large, barren parts of Texas, the price is going to drop. Anyway, so I've got some of your money. And it's got Jane Austen on it. That's cool. So you can put animals on it now, but I've got a Jane Austen one. All right, let's talk about British folklore. Gonna fill your suitcases up with petrol. You're probably gonna see the lowest prices in petrol in Texas. We basically have the lowest prices for petrol in the U.S. most of the time. Oklahoma as well, but Texas, low gas prices. You know, we we refine oil here in Texas. I mean, Texas that's what made the state rich, oil. You don't want to put the animals on, Ben? I know, that one's so cool. I'm kind of proud to have a Jane Austen 10-pound note. I'm not gonna lie. Still, it's worth $15, so I'm gonna take it to the bank and cash it in, right? I mean, it's cool for a minute, but come on, y'all. I'll make the 15. What is more than $15, I think. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna keep it. I handed it to Sage yesterday, and you know, that guy pulled it out of his wallet. He handed it to me. I looked at it. I tried to hand it back to him. Yesterday I gave it to Sage, and he looked at it, and then I could tell he wasn't gonna hand it back to me. But yeah, it's cultural derogation. I mean, it's super cool, Davy Verse, that y'all got Jane Austen on there, but I don't know. Why are y'all putting animals on there? Whose idea was that? I don't know why you're doing that. But maybe we'll change back sometime. What's Shakespeare on? Shakespeare's on some of your money, right? Are they going to take him off? Do I prefer paper notes, Ben? What do you mean, like our money? Or these? I mean, this is cool. This is better than our money. It is small though. It's small. Your money is smaller than our notes, which makes it a little cumbersome feeling to me. Shakespeare was on the paper ones. I mean, paper. I mean, I didn't try to tear this or anything. I didn't try. Like, will it not tear? Is that why you switched to this? It's more durable. Yeah, I never really thought about it if I prefer paper ones or not. Got Churchill and Dickens. Yeah, Dickens. You can't tear these up. Okay. I mean, it feels like you couldn't, but I didn't try. I don't know. I guess I don't care. I don't care. It won't rip, Davey. Yeah, I guess you just get used to whatever you use. Right, it's good if you accidentally put it in the wash. You can accidentally wash ours too, and it usually would be okay, but it won't fall apart in the washing machine. I mean, I've washed our bills before, and they don't really fall apart. It's not good for them. Makes them like you gotta dry them out. So I gotta get arrested. Got money out of the ATM. Wind flew out of hand. He stepped on to stop. The cop was right, and they take King's picture of it. Really? Who? Can't step on money, huh? These can't catch fire. Well, they're probably better, right? Yeah, laundered money, Adrian. Yeah, yours seem better. I mean, I don't know. I don't really care that much. I don't even use cash a whole lot. Sometimes people pay me in cash, though. Like, I never get cash out of the bank, but some people will pay me in large sums of cash. I don't ask questions. Right, Constantine. Ginga says the reintroduction of animals that are extinct now, but once part of British nature, that's what you're putting on, and that's why. Are notes just IOUs? Yeah. I mean, American dollar bills, I always say this, it's just ink on money. It's just ink on paper. Its value is valueless. Yeah. Cashless businesses, yeah. That is true in the US. A lot of businesses are cashless. There's several around me. But yeah, it's just ink on paper. The US dollar, it's, I mean, all currency really is just an IOU. It doesn't, what's money mean anyway? We just pretend it means something. Really, it's meaningless. But we all are on board with pretending, and so that gives it meaning. That's all it is. The American dollar is not backed by anything but a promise. That's all. I'm speaking for the American dollar, you know, but it's kind of the same everywhere in the world. Currency is just, we decided this has value, therefore it does. It shouldn't have value. It's stupid, but that's the way it works. Okay, let's talk about English folklore. You got a lot of myths and legends, well, British in general, but uh, like Arthur, King Arthur, and Beowulf, and Robin Hood. I mentioned those before. The Green Man, the Black Shuck. A lot of, over the centuries, Celtic, Roman, Anglo-Saxon, Norse, and Norman elements have all influenced folklore in the UK. But what I really want to talk about is this list I see in this article. I can pull it up. Okay, this is by, okay, I've got this list and it's by folklore by areas. This one's of England, I think, and maybe Wales. I got some other stuff that come about Scotland too. But this says folklore of East Anglia. Okay, so that's the first region. I'm going to start reading some of these off. And if I click on them, it will give me information about that specific one. I'll see if any of them catch my eye. Hairy hands that take control of vehicles. Genghis, I've heard of that. You told me about this, right? I think it's in here. I don't like that. Okay, folklore of East Anglia. St. Audrey? I don't know what that is. I'm going to pass by some of these, but if they catch my eye or if you say something about it, I'm going to click on them. Babes in the Wood at Wayland's Wood? My favorite is the man, the myth, the legend, Genghis Khan. Dun, 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 dun. Golems, yeah, I've seen that on here too. Okay, here's the Black Shuck, a black dog. Read about that one before. The Borley Rectory. I've heard about this. It's super haunted, right? UK military has a funny term for money. We call all currency dib-dob. It's easy for military personnel to exchange their money in local currencies without knowing what it is by asking dib-dobs. Oh, that's pretty cool. Ben says, oh yeah, right. I've heard Borley Rectory is all kinds of haunted. Caxton Gibbet? I've never heard of this. Or maybe it's Saxton, but it's with a C. Caxton Gibbet? Saint Edmund of East Anglia? Ooh. The Green Children of Woolpit? What is that? Hereward the Wake? I don't know. Who is that? This list is super long. Hider Sprites? I don't know what that is. Jack Valentine, I've heard of this. He's like Santa Claus for Valentine's Day. It's almost St. Patrick's Day this weekend, y'all. Saturday, it's going to be big and crazy around here. I'll probably live stream from Greenville Avenue on Saturday. The St. Patrick's Day parade is Saturday here. Yeah, Merlin and King Arthur been. It's a big one. The Saturday St. Patrick's Day parade in Dallas. I'll live stream. It won't be that, it'll be early. It won't be that busy, but I'll still live stream from my. You vaguely heard of the Green Children myth? Folklore, the Green Kids is a good one, Sean. Used to tell my kids that the Jabberwocky lived in the local woods. Let me click on this one. The Green Children of Woolpit. It says the legend of the Green Children of Woolpit concerns two children of unusual skin color who reportedly appeared in the village of Woolpit in Suffolk, England, sometime in the 12th century, perhaps during the reign of King Stephen. The children, found to be brother and sister, were of generally normal appearance, except for the green color of their skin. They spoke in an unknown language and would eat only raw broad beans. Eventually, they learned to eat other food and lost their green color. Okay, but the boy was sickly and died. Around the time of his and his sister's baptism, the girl adjusted to her new life, but she was considered to be very wanton and impudent. After she learned to speak English, the girl explained that she and her brother had come from a land where the sun had never shone, and the light was like twilight. According to the version of the story, she said that everything there was green. According to another, she said it was called St. Martin's Land. The only near contemporary accounts are contained in William of Newball's Historia Rerum Anglicarium and Ralph of Coggeshall's Chronicles. These are Latin words. These are old books that were written in about 1189 and 1220. Between then and the rediscovery in the mid-19th century, the green children seem to surface only a passing mention in William Camden's Britannia, 1586. So this story uh, goes way back. Is that the ones you're talking about? There might be some other green kids, or green children, but Gandalf was based on Merlin. Dumbledore was also based off Goth. Yeah, yeah. I never read Harry Potter either. But yeah, Merlin's the basis for all the great wizards, basically. First story of it. So that's the Green Children of Woolpit. Apparently, the story was documented that they found these green kids. Hmm, that's weird. Who's the Lantern Man? What about the Molly Dance? Ooh, the Mermaid of Upper Sheringham? The Mermaid of Upper Sheringham. The Shug Monkey? What is that? Tom Hickathrift? Turpin's Cave? I've read this. It's haunted, right? Okay, here's some folklore of London and the southeast. The Biddenden Maids? Don't know what that is. Bran the Blessed's Head at the Tower of London. Devil's Jump? Let's see, the Ghost of Rare. Gog and Magog, legendary giants and guardians of the city of London. The Highgate Vampires on this list. Huh. There's a lot of, there's so many. I'm looking for some of these that are, what about Spring Hill Jack? Urnigate, the giant guardian of the New Forest? Yeah, Robin Hood's a big one. For sure, Nicky Bro. What is this one? Gog and Magog, legendary giants and guardians of the city of London? I've not heard of this. Gog Magog was a legendary giant in the matter of Britain. According to Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia Regum Berenice, he was a giant inhabitant of Cornwall who was thrown off a cliff during a wrestling match with Corneus and companion of Brutus of Troy. Later tradition explained on the story with Gog Magog described as a descendant of Albinia and the chieftain and largest of the giants found by Brutus and his men inhabiting this land of Albion. The effigies of Gog Magog and Corneus, used in English pageantry and later instituted as guardian statues at Guildhall in London, eventually earned the familiar names Gog and Magog. Got one was MVP at Davyverse. Don't believe the Lancelot legends. There's so many on here. The Mowing Devil of Hertfordshire? What is that? Who's Spring Hill Jack? Spring Hill Jack was an entity in English folklore of the Victorian era. The first claimed sighting of Spring Hill Jack was in 1837. Later sightings were reported all over the United Kingdom and were especially prevalent in suburban London, the Midlands, and Scotland. There are many theories about the nature and identity of Spring Hill Jack. This urban legend was very popular in its time due to the tales of his bizarre appearance and ability to make extraordinary leaps, to the point that he became the topic of several works of fiction. Spring Hill Jack was described by people who claimed to have seen him as having a terrifying and frightful appearance with diabolical clawed hands and eyes that resembled red balls of fire. One report claimed that beneath a black cloak he wore a helmet and a tight-fitting white garment like an oilskin. Many stories also mention a devil-like aspect. Others said he was tall and thin, with the appearance of a gentleman. Several reports mention that he could breathe out blue and white flames, and that he wore sharp metallic claws at his fingertips. At least two people claim that he was able to speak comprehensible English. Take care, Nicky Brooke. Let's see, I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Ooh. Ethelred and Ethelrelda. I don't know that one, Genghis. The Lotus Eater podcast have a chronicle show that covers the myths and legends of the UK. Davy verse. Jack the Treacle Eater is an 18th century folly near Yeovil, known for the legend of a lightning-fast messenger who lived in the town. According to folklore, this Jack trained on a dyed treacle to deliver messages to London, climbing down at midnight to drink from a nearby lake. That's cool. Well, you think that's still worth $5, huh, Davy verse? Anyway, Davy verse in Missouri. So yeah, that's Spring Hill Jack, huh? I never really heard of that. That's interesting. Jack the Treacle Eater or something. What'd you say, Ben? Jack the Treacle Eater. I bet he had a lot of energy. I'm gonna see if he's on this list. I might read about it. Here's one called Jack of Kent. A Lady Godiva is another one that's real famous from the UK. What about the Lincoln Imp? I heard about this recently, right? I read it somewhere. It says the Lincoln Imp is a grotesque on a wall inside Lincoln Cathedral. What? England. The Lincoln Imp is a grotesque on a wall inside Lincoln Cathedral in England and has become the symbol of the city of Lincoln. The carving is situated high on the north side of the Angel Choir and is not conspicuous. The Angel Choir was built between 1250 and 1280, so the carving must date from then. It became well known in the late 19th century, and its associated folk tales are an elaboration of earlier traditions involving the devil hiding from wind inside the cathedral. The devil looking at Lincoln with malicious envy in stone scriptures at Lincoln Cathedral or Lincoln College, Oxford, said to represent either theme. Modern folk tales about the Lincoln Imp are mostly variations on the traditions described in the previous section. Okay, that doesn't help too much. Let's see, the early history made no mention of the imp, but had an illustration of a sculpture project over the angel. The nickname the Lincoln Imp arose sometime before 1897. Interesting. The legend says the coming of some bishop to Lincoln made the devil very angry, for up to that time he had not had his own way in the town or district. The devil tried his utmost to turn him from his purpose of building a cathedral, but without success. At last, in desperation, the minister, then nearing its completion, the devil waylaid the bishop of the southern western corner of the building and tried to kill him. But the good minister defeated him, basically. And that's the legend is it turned into this carving. So that's kind of interesting. So the Lincoln Imp is this thing. Oh, have a good day, Davy Verse. Safe travels. So the Lincoln Imp is this carving that is in Lincoln Cathedral. And they don't know how it got there or who put it there. They just discovered it and then they're like, what is this? It's kind of weird, huh? I never heard of that until just the other day. Let's see, what are some of the other ones? I mean, I see Robin Hood, but I think we all know Robin Hood. Yeah, safe travels, Davy Verse. Yeah, and keep popping in. I like hearing where you're at. I'm trying to see, like, what'd you say, Pedrodale. I'm looking for some of the ones y'all might mention. Of course, I do know about the Pendle Witches. Here it says Folklore of the Northwest. Adam Bell, The Wizard of Alderley Edge, Arthur O'Bower, John Peel, The Folklore of Lancashire. It looks like an imp, Genghis. John Middleton, Log Meg, Wild Boar of Westmoreland. Here's Folklore of the Southwest, Barber Surgeon of Avebury. What? Barber Surgeon? Bella Snap, Bowerman's Nose, Brutus Stone, the CERN Ava Giant, the CERN Giant. Here's this cheese rolling. Glastonbury Nitz Abbey, Folklore of Stonehenge, Glastonbury Tom, the Goblin of Coombe, Goblin Coombe, Hairy Hands. Let's click on that. The Hairy Hands is a ghost story legend that built up about a stretch of road on the remote area of Dartmoor in the English county of Devon, which was purported to have seen an unusually high number of motor vehicle accidents during the early 20th century. Okay. Since around 1910, drivers and cyclists have reported suffering unusual accidents along the road between Post Bridge and two bridges. In many cases, the victims reported that their vehicle had jolted or swerved violently, steered off the side of the road as if something had taken control of the wheels and had wrenched out of their control. In most instances, the victims ran into a verge and survived. The experiences remained a local curiosity until June 1921, when E.H. Helby, the medical officer for Dartmoor Prison, was killed when he lost control of his motorcycle combination. Two young girls, children of the prison governor, who had been riding in the sidecar, survived. Several weeks after Helby's death, there was another incident in which a coach driver lost control, injuring several passengers who were thrown out of their seats. Then on August 26, 1921, an Army captain reported that a pair of invisible hands had taken hold of him and forced his motorcycle off the road, after which the story was picked up by newspapers in London and became known nationwide. In Supernatural Dartmoor by Michael Williams, there's a story told by journalist and author Rufus Endell. He claimed that while driving near Post Bridge on an unstated date, a pair of hands gripped the driving wheel, and I had to fight for control. He managed to avoid a crash, and the hands appeared as inexplicably as they had come. He requested that Williams not publish the story until after his death for fear of ridicule. That's interesting. Tom Fool, he haunts Muncaster Castle, Choppy. So there's the Hairy Hands story. Tom Fool, Choppy, did I mention Tom Fool? I'm going to roll back and see. I'll click on it if I see Tom Fool. I don't think I saw it yet. But if I see it, Choppy, I'll click on it and read about it. Okay, let's keep going. Grindylow, Ginny Greenteeth. I've read about that one. That one's just crazy. Black Monk House is the only one you know. They think they call it something else now. Constantine. Kind of interested in this. Well, I don't see the one yet about Jack the Treacle Drinker. I do see the Witch of Wookie Hole. That's on here. Let's look at this one that says Goblin Combe. Goblin Combe is a dry valley in North Somerset, which stretches for approximately 3.5 kilometers from Red Hill near Bristol International Airport. The Combe is located, it gives me the exact GPS locations. Yeah, I can visit Muncaster Castle, Choppy. Okay, so the coombe runs along the southern edge of a large woodland. Coombe is the same as the Welsh word CWM, which means valley. Above the valley is Cleeve Toot, an Iron Age hill fort. It is a roughly oval settlement which is approximately 125 meters in length by 90 meters in breadth. I don't need the dimensions. They are thought to have been a satellite community near Cadbury Hill. Pits have been found at the site, indicating the presence of round houses. There's a single stone rampart with a broad, shallow outer ditch. There's also a prehistoric or Roman field system. Okay, here's the folk tale. There was a parcel of children, and they were a picking primroses see. And one poor little dear, her wandered away on her lone self right down into Goblin Coombe. She were only a little trot, see, and she didn't know no better. Well, when she do find she's lost, she cries, and the tears do run down her dear little face, and dap on her pinafore like summer rain, and she do throw herself against a rock. Then the rock opens, and there's the fairies, all come to comfort her tears. They do give her a gold ball, and they lead the dear little soul safe home on account she was carrying primroses, see. Well, 'twas the wonder of the village, and the conjurer, he gets the notion he to get his fist on more than one gold ball when the next fairies open the hill. So he do pick a bunch of primroses, and he go up on Goblin Coombe, and he was glad enough to get in to the rock after all he see and hear on the way up. Well, 'twasn't the right day nor the right number of primroses, and he wasn't no dear little soul, so they took him. So I guess this is the old story about this area, Goblin Coombe, that you might get gold from the fairies, and they might take you. Tower of London's haunted, I know. I know, man. Yeah, Constantine asked, and Choppy replied, yeah, they are so haunted, haunted like crazy. At the Tower of London, there's all kinds of ghost stories. But yeah, I haven't even got anywhere close to being through this list. There's so much on here. What about Three Hares? Punky Night. Prussia Cove. What about Pixies? Jack the Giant Killer? Right? York is vastly haunted too, Constantine. Those are good places for haunting, and sure enough, the Tower of London, York. I want to look at this other section for a minute. Pixies are fascinating though. I'm trying to switch articles, but of course it's not letting me. I always have trouble sometimes when I pre-pull up this information. Let's see what happens if I do that. Glastonbury Tour is well haunted. Yeah, it's on the list. Let's look at it. Glastonbury Tour. It's so haunted, huh? Who's Tom Hickathrift? Now I've lost Glastonbury Tour. Who's the Rat Man of Southend? The Stockwell Ghost. The Rollright Stones. Black Annis, the Black Lady of Bradley Woods. The Derby Ram. Guy of Warwick. Jack of Kent. Little St. Hugh of Lincoln. Mermaid's Pool. Relics of St. Oswald. Royal Shrovetail Football. What is that? Wise Men of Gotham. The Devil's Arrows. The Headley Cow. Jingling Geordie's Hole. John the Gibber. Ladley Worm. The Lampton Worm. The Legend of Upsell Castle. Peg Powler. Peg Fife. Red Cap. Sedgefield Ball Game. Ursula Southill. That's Ursula Southill. That's the witch. That's old Mother Shipton. They didn't put Old Mother Shipton on here. They put her actual name, Ursula Southdale. But I recognized it. Sprites at the Waters? Yeah, there were some sprites on here. Grindylow, Long Meg and her daughters, the Samsbury Witches, the Wild Boar of Westmoreland, Tom Backhawk, Bellis Knapp, Bowerman's Nose. There are so many. Devil's Footprint, Crazy Well Pool, Dorset Ooser. Okay, Glastonbury, it says Glastonbury Thorn. I wonder which I should click on. I'm kind of running out of time, to be honest. But my goodness, you've got so many. I was just reading a few. There's so many. But, you know, I'm gonna take this, and it's worth about $15, maybe a little more. I don't know, around about $15 in the US. But, I'm thinking about just doing what like they used to do in the Old West, just making my escape to Mexico. And that's probably worth even a whole ton of pesos. I might just retire today. Y'all may never see me again. I may be heading to the Mexican coast with that 10-pound note. I'd probably be a hero. I'd be the richest man around. When you were a kid, you used to tell King Arthur was buried at Glastonbury Tor, and then a giant meteor hit and buried the church, so now only the tops poke out, right? Yeah, it is a lovely hike, it looks like, up the Tor, huh, Adrian? But yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap things up. I'm gonna go work till sundown again. But I will get some videos out on the channel. I will for tomorrow, just not today. Yeah, they could do Grand Print Trading Radar, haven't they? I would think they would have by now. Right, Genghis? They probably have. I would think so. Hey, Ben, what's that drive like from Yeovil to Chesil Beach? How long does it take you when you drive? I see you say you usually you head towards Dragon's Teeth. The other direction, it goes down to a place called Isle of Portland, right off of Weymouth. What's that like down there? I might want to explore the area a little bit. Takes about an hour. That's what I saw. I looked it up. It's only about 30 miles, but it said it takes about an hour. It's only an hour and a half. Oh, from Wiltshire, right, Adrian? Well, thanks, Joshy. Yeah, about an hour. That's what I read. I looked it up. Yeah, I might want to look around a little. It looks like it goes through some, like a national nature area. What was it? Hog Cliff. It looked like I saw on the map. Like it's kind of a nice drive, is it? Or not, Ben? It looked like it might be kind of a beautiful area, but a little bit windy path. Weymouth is lovely in Swanage, yeah. Yeah, probably want to head down that way, huh, while I'm there. I want to check that out. I don't know. The pool and Corf Castle is also near. Well, see, I want to spend my day fishing, so I may not be able to check out everything that is nearby. I want to fish. That's the reason I'm heading there. I gotta fish. I bet we don't catch anything, Ben. That's usually what happens, but it's better than not fishing. So, yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up. Cheers to everybody. Nice talking to you today. But yeah, Ben. Looks like not too bad of a drive. from Yeovil. But good to see you, Adrian, Kingus. Ben, Constantine, Davey was here. Wishing him a safe journey. Choppy, good to see you. Nikki Brooke had to leave, but good to see Nikki Brooke today. Yeah, I'm going to go work. I'm going to go work. It's going to be a beautiful day. Sean, it was good to see Sean today. It's going to be a beautiful day in the U.S., in Texas, in Dallas. Yeah, good to see everybody today. Everybody have a good one. Cheers, Ben. Yeah, hopefully we catch Ben. Portland is nice and Weymouth too. You know, I want to fish, but I may take a little time to look around. But yeah, Wayne from Dallas, Texas, signing out.